Yes.
All right. And are you the same Bianca Aguilar who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10408 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on February 24, 2021 for a term of 4 years? Is that you? All right. And do you plead true to violation of condition number 2 in that motion as well? And state, are you waiving all of the allegations?
We are, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Did you understand in each cause number by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2 in each cause number? Then in each cause number, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you adjudicate the defendant guilty, revoke her community supervision, and sentence her to 1 year in the state jail.
All right. And is that what you're requesting?
It is, Judge, and that the time be run concurrent, and she should have credit for time served in both cases. She has 480 in one case and 478, I believe, in the other, but she also did 9 months in safety.
All right. So, and the cause number ending in 08, did she pay restitution to Waldo Castro?
I guess not, Judge.
Judge, if you just give me one moment.
Sure.
Judge, a amount of $99 for restitution was paid in 08.
Okay. And was there any restitution to Gilbert Ramirez that was due?
No, Judge, don't have any record of that.
All right. And what has she done on probation?
Your Honor, she was in drug court and she was doing fairly well in drug court. She was a couple of weeks from actually graduating and she relapsed. She completed the dual diagnosis residential facility and she completed safe P.
You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on with your life? Why didn't you successfully complete probation?
I got such a
Okay, you're going to have to stop whispering. I can't hear.
I went around with the wrong people again, but I was doing very well. I was able to maintain a job. I actually still have my job. They put me on a leave of absence for now. I was renting my own house. I still have my house, thank God. But I had a setback. I relapsed.
All right. So there has to be more going on because felony drug court just doesn't kick you out because you relapsed.
I was mixed up with the wrong crowd again, and I'm not.
What does that mean, the wrong crowd?
I went back to the same people that I kind of distanced myself from.
But still, felony drug court, if you get involved with the wrong crowd, and I always tell people, when you say you're involved with the wrong crowd, if those people were before me, they would say, I'm involved with the wrong crowd. And I would ask them, who's the wrong crowd? And they'd say, Bianca.
So at the time, when I went on a 4-day jail sanction for coming up dirty. And so when I went on this 4-day jail sanction, I was talking to a guy, and I guess the guy that I was talking to, they got word of it. I'm not sure if it was from his ex. I'm not sure exactly how, but they got word of it. They and I know Judge Glenn had kind of like, I guess he already knew his name and everything. He told me not to contact him, but he was staying at my house while I went to the 4-day jail sanction. So when I went to the 4-day jail sanction, I did contact him, and that's when they decided to terminate me.
Well, what do you mean you did contact him? He's living with you.
Yeah, he was living.
Why is he living with you?
He wasn't at the time. He just didn't have anywhere to stay. He was there for about a week, and then my dad ended up going over that weekend when he found out that I was doing the 4-day jail sanction and kicked everybody out of my house. So that.
So here's my question. What is your relationship with this person? No, I mean, when you had him staying at your house.
It was like a sexual relationship.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand, and help me understand. I understand that people fall in love, right? But I don't understand this thing that women are doing now and men are doing too. But you're female before me, so I'll just say what women are doing now. I don't understand why women are having grown men live in their house. They don't have a job, so they're not bringing anything to the table. All they're doing is taking resources. They take the food because they don't have a job. They send you off to work. They don't clean because they feel like a woman should be doing the cleaning and the cooking, and they bring nothing to the table. I mean, are women so desperate now for men that they're just like, you know what? I know you don't have a job. I know you have no means of supporting yourself and you're a grown man, but come live with me. Is that where we fall into? That we're so desperate to have a man in our life that we would risk going to the state jail facility for 2 years to have a man in our life. And the thing about it is, I know with felony drug court, they probably told you more than one time not to have contact with him.
They told me that weekend because it was that week that they found out about him. I had just known him a couple weeks.
Okay, and here's the other thing. You know somebody for 2 weeks, and next thing you know, they're living with you. You know, that's how children end up getting killed. Let me just tell you, in my experience as a prosecutor and defense attorney, you know what ends up happening? A woman will go out, meet some guy at a club on Friday, and instead of that guy having enough money to take them to a hotel or motel, they just come back to the lady's house and they never leave. I'm like, this is just, I don't understand why people do that. You met some guy that you barely knew, and next thing you know, a complete stranger is living in your house. And in my day, you are the person that they used to do after school specials for. You're just a walking Lifetime movie waiting to be happening. And you know what? Mom and I will sit and watch that Lifetime movie. And you know what we'd say? Oh, no, there's no way somebody would let a complete stranger who has no job move in with them. This can't be a true story. And then you know what happens in the Lifetime movie? The screen goes black, and then you got a law named after you. So I don't know why I should just give her a year for disobeying the rules of felony drug court. And I don't think it's just one time. Felony drug court doesn't do this thing, because I used to be an attorney in felony drug court. If I were in felony drug court, they would say, Stephanie, we don't want you having contact with John Doe, because John Doe is a drug user. John Doe sells drugs. Don't have contact with him. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then they catch me with John Doe. You know what they do? They don't kick me out of drug court. You know what they say? Hey, this is the last time we're going to tell you. We're giving you this amount of time to get John Doe out of your apartment. And if you have issues with John Doe getting out of your apartment that's in your name, here's an attorney for you. They will do the necessary things and tell you what you need to do to have that person removed from your apartment. I know they did that. And I don't think you told them John Doe was living with you. I think you were shocked. They learned he was living with you.
Okay, so I didn't tell them. I did try to lie about it in the beginning, but when I went in to talk to the judge, I already knew what it was about. I didn't know what it was about.
Because you know they found out.
They didn't find out he was living with me, but I let them know that day because I just knew that he pulled up the records. I know how Judge Flynn is, and I know they've given me multiple chances, and so they had to tell me that was it. And I understand that I was in there for 3 years, so I know Elsa knew me very well.
And do you have children?
I have 2 children there with their dad.
And you letting this man come in your house just put your children before that man. Were you planning on ever having visitation with your children? And then you know what would have happened? You would have had visitation with your children, and that man would have been there, a complete stranger. And children are always depending on their parents to alert them to danger and not bring danger to him. And you know how children sometimes end up getting abused and murdered because parents are letting complete strangers come live with them. And that same guy that you have who's not working, and then he sends you off to work and you leave your children with a complete stranger. That's what happens. All of this because people have, I guess, no self-esteem for themselves or lowering their standards. Let me help you out. at some point, you know what the bare minimum standard you should have if you're getting involved with a guy? Unless he is super wealthy, that person needs to have a job. You don't need to be supporting an adult male. You're not even supporting your children, but you're supporting a grown man. I'm not going to give you a year. All right. I'm finding 2 true in each case, and I'm going to sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility. Finding you guilty. Give you credit for any time served.
Does that include her safety?
Did she successfully complete it?
It's my understanding.
Probation, did she successfully complete safety?
Yes, sir. And I believe DDRF. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll give you credit for safety because you successfully completed. And I'll give you credit for DDRF. Did she successfully complete DDRF?
Yes.
All right, now I'll give you credit for that. Did you review in each case the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal. And that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You are an adult. If you want to do silly things and risk your life by moving in complete strangers in your house, you can do that. But the problem is when you have children, then children end up with complete strangers. And people will always tell me they will not allow drug addicts or whoever to babysit their children. That's what you do when you move a complete stranger, a grown man who doesn't have a job. Have some standards. And don't go past those standards. And don't ever let complete strangers come and live in your apartment. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay? And when you get out, if you still have issues and you want some help with drug treatment, you can always come back to court. And I'll find a place for you, okay? All right, good luck to you.
In this intense courtroom moment, we watch Bianca, a woman who had every chance to rebuild her life stand before the judge as her entire story unravels in one painful, emotional confession. After years of drug court, treatment programs, dual diagnosis, rehab, SAFP, and being just weeks away from graduating, she admits the truth. She fell back into the same toxic circle that once destroyed her life. And it all started with a man she barely knew. The judge digs deeper and uncovers the heart of the problem. Bianca let a grown, jobless stranger live in her home, eat her food, drain her resources, and pull her away from recovery. Even while she had 2 children depending on her, the judge delivers a powerful speech, calling out a painful reality she sees too often. Women risking their freedom, their homes, their safety, and their children just to keep a man who brings nothing but chaos. She warns Bianca that bringing a complete stranger into her home is the kind of decision that destroys families and leads to tragedies. The kind you see in Lifetime movies where the screen goes black and laws get named after victims. The judge reminds her that drug court does not kick people out for a single relapse. They only remove someone when the lies, the choices, and the danger escalate beyond control. Bianca finally breaks, admitting she lied, admitted she let him stay, admitted her father had to remove everyone from the house while she served a 4-day sanction. The judge's disappointment is heavy, but she also sees a woman who can still turn her life around. In a mix of stern warning and unexpected compassion, she adjudicates her guilty and sentences her to 18 months in state jail, giving credit for every program she completed, but leaves her with one final lifeline. When she gets out, she can return for help, and the court will find a place for her. It's a raw, emotional, and brutally honest moment that reveals how one wrong relationship can collapse a life, how addiction mixes with desperation, and how a judge, despite handing down punishment, still tries to save a soul from repeating The same heartbreaking cycle again. If you want more real courtroom moments that expose the hard truths, show the raw emotions behind every decision, and reveal how one choice can change an entire life, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The next case might leave you speechless.